welcome to our channel Medification. In today's video, you will get to know about systemic thromboembolism. Before starting with systemic thromboembolism, I would like to mention definition of the word embolism. An embolus is a detached intravascular solid, liquid or gaseous mass that is carried by the blood from its point of origin to a distant site. In the sentence, I have mentioned the word intravascular. It says it is only present, this mass is only present inside the cardiovascular system. I have also mentioned it can be in solid, liquid or gaseous state. That is, it is unlike thrombus because a thrombus is only in solid state and it can be carried by the blood from the point of origin to a distant site. And at the distant site, they often causes tissue dysfunction. Now let's go to systemic thromboembolism. 80% of the systemic emboli arise from intracardiac mural thrombi. The word mural thrombi means it is attached to the wall of the cardiac chamber. And from this 80%, 75% are associated with left ventricular wall and 25% are associated with atrial wall, left atrial wall. And the remaining 20% originate from atherosclerotic plaque, aortic aneurysm, valvular vegetation and venous thrombi. Atherosclerotic plaque means it is the buildup of the fat, cholesterol on arterial wall. Aortic aneurysm means it is the enlargement of the aorta. There won't be any symptom until the aortic wall has been ruptured, and it is most common in abdominal aorta. Now let's see the venous emboli and the arterial emboli. The venous emboli, the embolus present in the vein get lodged in the lungs, and the arterial emboli, that is present in the artery, move to distant site and cause tissue dysfunction. Then most of the emboli get lodged, that is 75% get lodged in the lower extremity. Then 10% goes to brain, and they also get lodged in the tissues like intestine, kidney and spleen. Now let's see the consequences of systemic embolism. It mostly depends on the vulnerability of the affected tissue to ischemia, that is those tissues in which their blood supply is very low, and also depends on the caliber of the occluded vessel. Occluded vessel in the sense like the vessel which has been blocked by the emboli. Now let's go to the clinical question. 50 years old male presented with chest pain and palpitation. On admission, he was severely dyspneic. On the second day of the admission, he developed hemiplegia. Answer the following. What is your diagnosis? Explain the pathogenesis of his dyspnea. In the question, the person is having chest pain, palpitation, he is having dyspnea, and also he developed hemiplegia. Dyspnea is the shortness of the breath, and hemiplegia is the serious condition in which that person will have paralysis, partial paralysis on one side of the body like arms, legs and facial muscles. The cause of the chest pain is the reduced oxygen supply to the heart, which can be either due to coronary obstruction or obstruction on the atrial wall. That is the embolism. It might be the embolism that has been lodged in the atrium or atrial fibrillation. Then the person is having dyspnea, that is the shortness of the breath. As I have said earlier, chest pain is occurred due to the reduced oxygen supply to the heart, in which the heart muscle will not function properly, which will lead to chest pain. Dyspnea is the shortness of the breath that is also due to the low oxygen supply in the blood. So on the second day, the person developed hemiplegia, that is the paralysis on one side of the body, occurs due to the brain injury, and that person was also having chest pain which occurs due to the poor oxygen supply to the heart. So we can conclude that something related to heart caused injury to the brain. So we can say that it is due to atrial fibrillation, blood clot formed or thrombi formed which could dislodge and travel to the brain, which might block the blood flow to the brain and cause hemiplegia. So what is your diagnosis? Diagnosis is atrial fibrillation. Due to atrial fibrillation, systemic thromboembolism has happened. Then the next question, explain the pathogenesis of his dyspnea. It is the shortness of the breath due to the poor oxygen supply to the heart. And the pathogenesis is, it results from the multiple interaction of signals and receptors in CNS, peripheral receptors, chemoreceptors, mechanical receptors in lungs and chest wall. And this was all about systemic thromboembolism. I hope you found it helpful. Do let me know in the comment section. Thanks for watching. See you soon in the next video.